Hey, it's Mike Brennan, and we're back with another segment on MITechTV, and I have with me my business partner on MITech News, and my social media guru. But what we're going to be talking about is how artificial intelligence is coming in, and how that is going to change things, particularly in 2026. Right, Melih?
Yes, guys, good to be on the show again. We're going to continue this. Last time we talked about press release marketing for B2B, but let's get back on track and talk about artificial intelligence, business, and marketing. How do we engage in the new world? I would say that in 2025, we saw the largest change in artificial intelligence. And what I mean by that is the number of tools that have popped up around the internet, around the world, for businesses and using artificial intelligence just skyrocketing. It's at a point where, the chat GPTs, the Claudes, the Perplexities, and the Geminis of the world, co-pilots. Yeah, those were actually, what's funny is they're becoming the old news
Hmm.
now. It's absolutely crazy. Um, the other day, just to kind of give you a quick example without getting, dragging this on too long, but the other day we had a staff member identify a new tool called Beautiful.ai. And no lie, we took a Word document of what it is that we wanted. We uploaded it to Beautiful.ai, and it's spit out a complete PowerPoint presentation for us.
Hmm.
Designed, prepared, the whole thing. And it took no time at all. I mean, if you think about the days where we were spending all these hours putting together our PowerPoint presentations and trying to dot the I's and make sure everything is aligned and so on and so forth, we're done. I mean, and here's a thing that just started up this year. So when you take a look at artificial intelligence and how do businesses use the tools that are in the marketplace, um, you have to stay on top of it, because the amount of time savings, the fact that you can be more efficient with your time, the fact that you can be more effective with your time is what AI and business is all about. And that's the direction we're going. So that's what today's topics are all about, guys.
Let me throw
Okay.
in too. Yesterday, when we were talking and developing something, you produced an AI code writer
I
that
know.
blew me away. It's like it's like you just typed in what you wanted and the code came out about a minute
Yeah.
later. That's got to put the fear of God into all them $150 an hour coders out there, right?
Well, their work is going to shift to something different. It's not the fact that the fact is they don't have to do the mundane coding anymore. That's become routine, right? They got to move to something else when it comes to the coding world. And it's going to free up mankind's time to evolve into something new, something in a different direction. And I think that change is where all the fear factors coming from. Like, well, what do I do? Well, don't worry about it. You're going to change. It's going to happen. The cat's out of the bag, and we're not going to be able to put it back in at this point. So, yeah, you're right. Though yesterday when you and I were talking, I was able to whip up a web page and all the HTML code. What took a minute?
About a
Oh
minute
Copy
or
and
boy.
so.
paste.
And I hadn't heard of that one. I mean, I'm slowly
Mhm.
wading into this, and every seems like every week
Mhm.
I get a press release from somebody. Hey, we've got AI now, and I go, so what else is new? So I mean, it's
Yeah.
just amazing how many different ones there are out there.
All right.
So
So
if we think, let's yeah, go ahead, Mike.
no,
Mhm.
I just wanted to mention one of the things that you had mentioned earlier that I thought was really interesting is that people have worried for so long about SEO and their website, but you're
Yeah.
saying the website's no longer the center of your digital universe and business. Your infrastructure is.
No,
Talk
no,
about that.
we
Talk about
we're
that a little bit.
we're we're moving, or we've moved away from that. In other words, it's not about your website anymore. Where we actually use the website as our focal point for all things digital, right? Well, now we're moving into, what is your ecosystem?
Hmm.
What is the ecosystem of your of your entire presence on the internet. So, and theoretically, I mean, this is like, I feel like this is ancient strategies, but this is about multi-channel marketing, or what some people call omni-channel marketing. We're talking about the ecosystem, your ecosystem in social, in the news slash press releases, your website, your um, your content marketing, your YouTube videos, right? Where you are on Facebook or Flipboard or um, uh, all these different websites. I mean, it's like I'm trying to list them all out in my mind, and there's like so many of them I can't even spit them out fast enough. But it's about the ecosystem. It's your infrastructure on the internet that's the most important. And the problem that I see, especially considering the volume of changes that happened here in 2025, that website companies are still operating as though they're back in 2010, 2015, and aside from the fact that it's over 10 years old, the reality is that as we go into 2026, we got a new year coming around. I cannot impress upon businesses to get yourself somebody who really knows AI. That's number one. And I don't mean just AI for marketing. I'm talking about AI for your operations as well, AI for your business internal infrastructure. Believe it or not, there are now C-level positions called Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer,
Hmm.
CAIO. I mean, and that exists. That has started. Well, I mean, it's kind of become an official thing this year, but it's now out there. And even if you can't afford a chief AI officer, you should be able to afford an AI director, an AI manager, right? Somebody who understands the world of AI and how that's going to impact your business, your operations, your marketing, and even your sales. I mean, there's a website out there called intelligence.io or .com. Whole nother world of how do you network using AI. How do you develop warm relationships by identifying who's in the broader sphere of your um, networking? But like I said, it's about your infrastructure. It's about your ecosystem, and that's the direction that we're going. Um, think of if we think about AI, and going back to Matt, to your question about your website. Um, Even within your website, and we've mentioned this before in previous episodes on this, but it's about the coding that's inside your web pages now.
Hmm.
So if you want AI engines to understand who you are, you have to translate your information to them in a way that they understand. Now, very, very quickly, and I'm broad stroking this, but it's called Schema Markup code. Some people use the term JSON code, but as Mike and I just talked about, you don't have to create the code. Go to Chat GPT or your favorite GPT and ask and give it the web address of your homepage. And I'm just using a simple example. And ask it to give you the JSON, the schema markup code for that page. All you have to do is copy paste it right in there. And now you have formally started to allow AI engines to better understand who you are. And believe me, every piece of content on a web page, I don't care if it's a video, I don't care if it's a PDF, it's an image, whatever it is. Essentially, every piece of those elements within the web page, all have specific formatting methods to help AI engines understand who you are, and so that they're not guessing at this whole process. Um, this is a different form of SEO, which is now known as Generative Engine Optimization. And so we went from SEO, and believe I know a lot of people don't realize this, but we went from SEO to AEO. AEO being Answer Engine Optimization. That kind of started back in 2013ish with the Hummingbird algorithm. And from SEO we went to AEO. From AEO, here in the last 3 years, we've now gone to GEO. And that's the method of developing your infrastructure. That's the method of creating your ecosystem on the internet, specifically designed for AI engines. Because AI engines are the ones, when somebody goes to the internet and say, I want to find a ball bearings manufacturer, for example, right? I'm using manufacturing as an example here. The AI engine is going to looks on the internet based on the knowledge it has and recommends whatever, 1, 3, 5, 10 different companies to you. The good news is every single one of them is going to be right. You're not going to be wasting your time with a Google search where you got to go to each one of them and figure out what's what and who's who. I guarantee they're all going to be accurate. But if you want to get on that list, let's say that you're a ball bearings manufacturer right now. If you want to get on that list when somebody's looking for that type of product, you need to make sure your website is GEO optimized. That's the direction we're going. And to be perfectly honest, it doesn't make a difference if you're a small business and you're running a restaurant or a flower shop, or you're a large corporation, like the Coca-Colas of the world. GEO is the way to go.
Hmm. What other changes or improvements or additions or whatever do you see coming in 2026?
Um, I think this ability to use AI to help generate more leads out of your website is going to be a big deal. I think that's going to turn into a much bigger element of how do we use active call to actions on your websites to get the website visitors' attention. I think we're going to find that tools like Google Analytics 4, which I absolutely hate.
Hmm.
Pain in the ass trying to find the right pieces of information. It's not like the old universal analytics where you can just go in and get what you're looking for. GA4 is a different ballgame, but we're going to be able to use tools like Looker Studio to tap into GA4 with AI to gather the data that we're looking for. And I think I had mentioned maybe one or two episodes ago, we talked about AI agents. We talked about AI agent workflows.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think
wanted
these
to
are,
talk about next, is all of
yeah,
the tasks involved in,
yep.
you mentioned like research agents, competitor marketing, lead response assistants, all of that stuff can be handled by AI agents. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, I think the example we talked about the last time was the letter N as a Nancy, the number 8, and then N as a Nancy. So these are AI agents where you can create a workflow and they will do all the different mundane tasks that you want them to do.
Hmm.
Setting it up, I'm not going to say it takes hours, but it does take a little bit of time to get it set up. Now, since that show, if we fast forward to today, ChatGPT / OpenAI now has its own version of AI agents that you can tap into and create these workflows. And let's just use something simple. Have the AI agent tap into your email, so which means you got to give it all the information it needs to tap into your email, and let it sift through there and identify what's important for you on that day. Have it delete everything that is unnecessary, have it delete the spam and the junk, and more importantly, have it also create a group of of emails that are questionable, right? And so that you're looking at the questionable emails and say, well, do I want this or not? You're going to teach AI whether you like these or not. That's just a simple example of how you could use AI agents. There are other ways that include your calendars, your meetings, tapping into, I was just mentioning Google Analytics, right? Well, create a bunch of AI agents and a workflow that analyzes the website visitors, cross-references it with your newsletter campaign or your email campaign, and cross-reference that with Google Search Console so you get a picture of what is it that's happening when people are visiting your website. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Mind-boggling where we're going. I mean, look at it this way. We're going to have more, a business has the opportunity of getting more visibility because of these searches and the GEO and the AI engines. You're going to be able to convert more website visitors to leads or sales because the AI agent is creating the journey funnel for that website visitor. You're going to shorten your sales cycles, believe it or not, because you're going to have exactly the prospect that you want in front of you. And more importantly, it's a prospect with intent, a prospect who actually wants to buy your services or your products. And from an operational standpoint, we're going to have more efficient teams because inside of a company using AI, you're going to be able to get rid of the routine tasks, and the human beings are going to be focused more on that which is most productive for the company.
All right. Any sort of final thoughts?
That was kind of my fun.
Oh, that was your final thought. Okay. Well,
That was my final thought. That was
how can
my
people
summary.
yes, how can people tap into the AI intelligence at SmartFinds Marketing?
So first of all, you can go to our website, smartfindsmarketing.com. I will tell you, if you look under the services section, everything that you see listed over there has some element of AI involved in it. That's number one. Number two, like I always like to talk about on this show, go to LinkedIn, type in my name, Melih Oztalay. I guarantee you I'm the only one there. And connect with me. I have 23,000 and growing really close friends that I can introduce you to. And like I always say, tag me on your posts. I'm happy to react, to put a solid comment with hashtags, and hopefully help to expand your reach into a larger audience on LinkedIn.